6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back to Show Me Trucks. It's been a long time, but let me show you around the new garage. I've been working outside for a long time, and we finally bought a house. I'll tell you guys some of the stuff I plan on doing. It's just a 2-car garage, nothing crazy. Right now I got all my 67 parts on this side, and then my 67 short beds C10 is stored somewhere else. I just built this shelf out of some old barn wood. I needed something to store all my parts. I was really hoping I could split it into 67 parts and then 36 parts, but kind of ran out of space, so it's a little jumbled in the middle. But I wanted to be able to see what I have, kind of pull out my best parts. Pretty much everything up there is extra, but just do a little inventory. That way I can start maybe cleaning up certain parts, painting. That way I can kind of work on the 67 while I'm finishing up the 36. Kind of fun to have an old like barnwood shelf, and then I used a little 1/4-inch masonite for the back. Obviously I made it really simple. I didn't want it to be overkill, and pretty much free. I think that masonite was like 13 bucks, so everything else I already had. And then now today what I'm working on is finishing up this welding table. I'm kind of leaving this side empty because I'm hoping to get a big air compressor, so I'll probably move that cabinet and then put a big, a 60-gallon air compressor over there. I wanted a table I can weld on. If you saw the other garage I had out in California, I always had a wood table, and so I always had to have metal down, and I'd always burn the table. And plus, one of the other auctions, I bought this semi-decent vise. I'm gonna bolt it to this table, that way I can hammer on things, and it just makes it a little easier for me bending angles on sheet metal and stuff like that. I used to have to use truck frames and different things, but I'm trying to make this shop a little more efficient. Cabinets aren't really my favorite. I kind of like things open so I can see everything, but these are already here, so I'm gonna be using them. I organized all my bolts, which has been like chaos because I moved from California to a garage, back out of a garage, back outside. So my stuff's been really unorganized. So the bolt collection is getting a little insane. But I organized it. All nuts, all bolts, carriage bolts and lag bolts, and then lug nuts. A whole box of washers. So I'm gonna kind of organize those a little bit. I'm gonna try to get the grinder over on the welding table also, but I just wanted everything out in the open, a little more visual, so I can see things, and then paint, stuff like that. I want the garage to stay nice. I've never ever had a garage this clean. This old lady built this house and lived in here until us. So one of the neighbors said he'd never even seen the other garage door open, so she obviously didn't do anything in here. She probably just parked her car, and that's it. There's no oil stain on the ground, which I actually kind of wish there was one, because I know I'm gonna put one there. At least I could blame it on someone else. But all the damage to this garage is gonna be from me, and I'm sure there'll be tons of it. One big thing that I'm realizing on the garage is I really need to insulate it. You would think in the summer it wouldn't be so bad, but it's so hot in here because it's not insulated. I don't really want to drywall it because I don't really care if it's that fancy. What I'm trying to find is old barnwood, kind of like what I have on the shelf, but the siding. So either out here, Pennsylvania, the old barns, like a light wood color up top, and then kind of fade to like a, molded brown color on the bottom. I would love some boards like that, or just some old faded kind of red and barn boards. And the place we lived at, they tore down part of that barn, so I was really hoping to get that wood, but obviously everyone else wants it too, so I didn't get it. Or even maybe that corrugated tin on the bottom, and then barnwood on top. Right now, I'm gonna try to do it where I only have one vehicle in here at a time. If I put 2 in here, it's gonna get a little crammed. I could move it and put the 67 in, but I think I'm gonna keep the 36 in. The 36 needs the engine pulled. I'll need gaskets and rings and everything. And then just finish up wiring and a couple small things. But the 67 is gonna be, frame off. I need to paint that frame and finish up everything else. So I'm kind of like, I think I'm just gonna do one vehicle in here at a time. The one thing that I did have happen is I got to put my 36 outside before we actually got the keys and got to move in, which attracted all the old guys, which is cool. I'm happy they weren't coming over here to complain about the noise that's about to be coming out of this garage. They were pretty happy about seeing the truck. I even had some ladies stop by and ask me if I was restoring the truck, and they thought it was really cool. So I hope the neighbors stay excited about me living here. And obviously I'm nice. I'm gonna keep the noise down as much as I can and not work outside and not have all my projects outside either. I don't want the neighborhood looking trashy. With the old guys being interested, a couple of them already told me they have projects. One guy already seemed interested in buying the 36, but he wanted me to paint it, and that basically talked me out of it right there. I'd rather do a whole different project than paint the 36. You know, I know it's not original paint, but it's taken a while to get it where it is now, and I want it to stay that way. So hopefully finish up the 36 soon. The whole goal is to try to run the shop. It's a full-time shop, start pumping projects out. I really want the 36 done, 67 done by the end of the year. If it's not done by the end of the year, I will have failed. This would be so depressing. The 36 should have already been done, but all this moving has really messed up my schedule. So let's work on the welding table and then keep organizing the shop. Let me try to explain some stuff on this table. If you followed along, these big U pipes were actually like 3 feet longer with feet on them. I got them for free. They were gonna get tossed, so I cut these, I think, to like 36 inches because I'm trying to get it to be level with this table. And then I didn't run them all the way to the end, so I'm gonna bolt the vise up to the end, which obviously means that it's not gonna be as stable on the edge of the table. But if you're wondering what these tabs are that I'm welding, basically, instead of trying to get my tungsten all the way down in this groove and fill that bead in there, which would be really tough, I just put these little tabs on, you know, TIG welded them on both ends so that it stays in place. You know, this isn't gonna be like beat the holy crap out of this table. It's kind of more just a table to have my vise on. I might try to support up underneath the vise a little bit more because I do kind of hammer on the vise quite a bit. You know, if I had tons and tons of money, maybe, you know, I'd have that 1 inch thick plate for the top, but this 1/4 inch is what I had. Whenever I flip it up, you'll see it's not even a full rectangle. It's cut off on the back, and that's fine. I just wanted the front to be square. And then another thing, I had welded on these plates. Like I said, I cut them off, and then I had screwed it into a 4x4. And the whole reason I did that is to not be hammering metal onto the concrete, because sometimes that will chip out your concrete. Also, I'm hoping that will keep the noise down a little bit. Like I said, I got neighbors with nice houses around me, and I'm not trying to be that loud, horrible neighbor and get a lot of complaints. At least to start. We'll do that later. Another reason I want insulation on the walls and maybe insulate the garage doors. That way, my neighbors don't hate me right off the bat. You know. Well, to wrap this video up, hung up a couple lights in the corners in case I have the doors up, like I showed you. I'm excited about the shelf. I moved that cabinet out of the way, hung up a couple posters on my 67 Chevy dog dish hubcaps, you know, a marker board. I like to keep kind of inventory on when I buy and sell parts to kind of figure out profit and make sure I don't lose too much money. Really pumped on the table. Also, I hung up this sign. If you didn't see, I built it in California. I had to get a new backing board, and then I'm gonna make the Show Me Trucks sign on there. And then I made this light, and I know you're getting blinded obviously, but I made this light out of a Buick straight 8 valve cover and then some bulbs and wired everything up. Starting next week, I'm gonna pull the front brakes off and start working on the engine. But excited about the garage. I get to make it my own, ready to start insulating it, like I said. And then I just sold some parts this weekend. So I have a little bit of money so I can go get some wood. Need to get this giant giraffe out of here. I need to paint this for my daughter. Kind of wrap it up in the garage. And I promise there's gonna be more videos now that I can work at night. Hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching. Later.